Good evening, everyone. If there's anyone out there at the moment, I know I'm starting oddly early for the minions. That's because there's a memorial stream for Irate Prostate that is going to be done tonight. And I did not feel right having any overlap between the two streams, so we're sending live early. The minion with me at the moment is Adam.
Hello.
And of course, I'm the keeper for the night, Sanguine. If you aren't seeing this until after it's done, you can blame me. I unilaterally went, fuck it, we're going early.
So I was thinking that earlier.
How are you doing tonight, Adam?
I'm doing all right, sir. How about yourself?
Doing grand. I'm just working on making my dinner. I have some rice going. I have a herbaceous garlic butter white wine sauce on the hob, just making sure that I get it the right consistency that I want. And then I have a lovely bit of salmon that I'm going to be tossing into my cast iron here in a second to get nice crisp skin, or not skin because it's a skinless salmon, but nice crisp surface on either side, but still keep it medium rare at most inside. And there we go. We are joined by another minion now. Cryptic. How are you doing, Cryptic?
Oh, hello. How everybody?
Doing great. And I just explained to anyone that listens in now or is listening in a bit later, the reason why we're going a bit early today, there's the Irate Prostate Memorial stream going tonight. And I did not feel right competing for the time with them, so tossed early. We're going to run until about the normal start of a Friday show, so that 10:30, maybe a little bit later time frame, and then we'll call it a night tonight, at least over here, and I'll probably be popping over to the IP stream.
I will do that also because I have very fond memory of Irate Prostate, so.
As do I. And like I said, I do not want to steal any thunder or make people have to decide which one to watch live. So, going early today.
That is fair.
So, what are you guys up to this evening? And how have your days gone?
Go ahead, Adam. You go first, sir. Well, I could go first if you want to.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting to go first.
What you just witnessed is an Asian man inadvertently throw a brown man under the nearest bus.
Exactly.
All for the entertainment of a white man, apparently. So, good shit, right?
Well, yeah, it would have been traditional if he threw me under a train. Oh my goodness! Oh.
Choo choo, motherfucker! Choo choo.
Hey, I'm still salty about that nerd comic. Damn it! Oh, we're off to a fine start. Hold on, but you asked me how I was doing earlier, Sanguine. So I think it's time for Cryptic to also.
Well, I asked you before the stream, so the lovely listeners did not get to hear how you were doing. I was just doing the normal pre-stream pleasantries.
No, I could have sworn I just said, "How's it going?" before Cryptic joined.
I wasn't here, so I didn't hear it, so it's still on you. But you know what? I'll take the hit for you, just for you there, Adam. Don't worry, you owe me one for next time.
Okay. I'll write a note.
Oh, you don't need a note. You need to have that like tattooed. Anyway,
here's my tattoo.
Yeah. I've been. That's all right. It's just a normal work day. I had a bunch of meetings. Getting roasted because I have a lot of work to do. Yeah, that's my boring life.
Had a bunch of meetings
and
work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's life of an engineer. Meetings all day long.
And actually, Adam is correct, and I was incorrect, because that was what made me start talking about what I was making for dinner. So I do stand corrected, and I concede that point.
Hey, man, it's all in fun. In all fairness, I'll say, um, you know, my workday was pretty good too. Fucking kind of slow in the morning. Got to bumble around in some Discord servers, and then after lunch, it got busy. The only bad thing is I don't like working on these desktops where like you open it up and it's like fucking Arrakis in there. You know, there's so much dirt. It's gross as shit.
Just covered in sand.
Like I don't
Who the hell
understand.
buried the computer in the desert?
Well, because the reason they're sending it in for repair, they're like, "Well, I don't understand why it's not working." It's like because you haven't. Dude, you gotta at least open it up. 3 months? Come on, dude. Like shit.
Maybe it's not working because if your CPU gets any hotter and any more covered, you're going to start making glass in your computer case. That might be one of the reasons why your computer's having issues at the moment.
No,
Perhaps-
I powered one on for testing because it said it was a slow boot.
Mhm.
Slow boot. Wow, that was good.
Understatement of the year.
And and I sat there and I turned it on and it wasn't giving me any video. So I'm sitting there like, that's interesting. So I went to go, type up what was going on, and all of a sudden I start smelling this smell, and I'm like, what is that smell?
It's
And all of a
burning, huh?
Yep.
Yep.
The graphics processor, you just see it all of a sudden goes, and I'm like, oh, well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've helped quite a few people through diagnosing the computer. So everybody in chat, just hit me up, or Adam, you hit me up. I can walk you through shebaggery. So I've done it for many people.
I'll make sure to do that during work hours. So that
Well,
way I
I've-
get paid.
I've done that before too. I've helped people like, hey, I've had people pull up their computer information. I'm like, yeah, you might talk to your IT about that because I can tell you what's wrong, but I can't fix it.
Yeah. Well, I
But-
mean, I try to avoid having to do too much soldering work. But no, usually what we get in terms of workload is just some of the hardware just burned out, so you got to replace it.
Mhm.
These are retail shops, so it's just they get the computer, they set it up, they set up the POS, and then they just run it until it stops, and then they
Yeah.
send it to us.
That's the reason why they call it piece of shit. I mean, point of sale. Sorry.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I've set up many POSs in my life too, and it's like a lot of the POSs they sell is the hardware they overprice like a motherfucker. Like okay, they will sell you a computer that's maybe 4 generations old,
Mm-hmm.
but they sell it like the current generation plus 1. So it's like I had this. So I was working with my friend's restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy came in and he's like, "Oh yeah, we have a POS system." He's like, that will work well. Will work for your restaurant." I was like, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "No, the software is fine. It will work. It works. It's just the computer they were trying to sell with it had like a Intel. What was it? Intel Athlon 3 or some fucking old ass chipset."
Mm-hmm.
And during this time, we're in like the Core i series of CPUs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I was like, "Hey," my friend's name is Kevin. I was like, "Hey, dude, Kevin, you can buy the software from him, but the hardware he's selling is shit. I can go to Best Buy right now and goddamn get you a computer that's run that software, plus you have headroom for future expansion." He's trying to sell you shit because there was like 2 computers, right? He was trying to sell $1,000 a computer.
Okay.
You can get that shit for $200.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just people like that, and he doesn't know any better because he's not a computer person. I'm just like, he's scamming your ass right now.
And the crazy thing is, it's like, from what I've been seeing, is a lot of it is just like modular proprietary type setups where it's the motherboard needs to be set built a certain way because it needs to fit the housing for the system itself, when it's like, yeah, you could just purchase a fucking regular desktop and have a better performance system on it, because yeah, I'm pulling out Celerons and fucking, it's like, what the fuck? These old ass fucking CPUs, what the hell? And that's exactly what's going on with them. It's like they're just, but again, it's that is the market deal, I guess. I don't know if should I be talking about this. It's probably like going against me.
No. You know you.
I think you're keeping it to the vagaries enough that you aren't disclosing trade secrets or outing clientele.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, yeah, because I mean, I find it funny that they'll at one end they can sell a high end like gaming PC, but then these restaurants and retailer shops are still running on such archaic fucking systems. It's funny as shit when I'm looking at it, because it's like, you know what? The value of this processor is just in the gold that you can extract. It's like, yeah, there's nothing, or the fucking rare earth minerals,
And just to respond to something from chat, I would link the stream, but at the moment it has yet to be made, so there is no link for me to send for it. It should be coming out hopefully before the show ends, and if so, I'll slap the link in stream. If not, then you'll probably be able to see it from all of the normal places that IP's stuff was shilled around the internet, because there's a lot of people that are keen on giving him a proper send-off.
No, Adam, it's no. Trust me, it's very common. What you see is very common. I face palm every time I see it because of the industry I work in, and I'm like, that's not safe. Like, you literally, I see some people's POS is like, I can like hack into it like in 2 seconds if I wanted to. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fucking ridiculous, some of the shit that people sell out there. I'm like, that's not safe.
Yeah, that's like, I wish Skep was on, because he remembers the details of this, but not terribly long ago, a government agency was updating its systems, and they had to put out a request for people that knew this archaic system.
Yep.
Because even most of the people that had known the system had died. It was something ridiculous, like, so we're trying to update our system. Can we get all the people that know how to use punch card computers to help us update the system? And people are just going, the fuck? Did you just say punch card? Because it was just, they ran with it. They kept running with it because it hadn't failed yet, and they don't update until something just absolutely shits the bed on them, and then they go, okay, now we need to fix it, when really they should be looking to update far more often than that.
Yeah, so in my industry, right, I do cybersecurity also, right?
Mm-hmm.
The shit I've seen out there, and people's ability to be stupid with their network and not update, like replace or update, would drive you nuts if you were in my industry. It was like, you do realize that you have a critical system that I can get in at any time I want at will, and you have no control over it.
Mm-hmm. You say
And
that like it's a bad thing, Cryptic.
No, they're too fucking too. I'm trying to tell them their vulnerabilities, and they're too fucking cheap to goddamn commit to upgrading because they don't want to spend the money to have me design and build it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, you pay me $20,000 to design and do all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the hardware and stuff, okay, it's gonna be like $50,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
If somebody hacks your shit and ransomware your stuff, it's gonna cost you over $1 million to get your shit unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
$50,000 versus $1 million, you pick. But some of these people are so fucking thick-headed, like, oh, we're fine. Like, oh, no, you're not.
Yeah, there's a certain point where you don't want to be the most modern, cutting edge, latest shit, because that's when everything is still going tits up fairly quickly.
Right.
But you don't want to be 10 years old. You want kind of a happy medium. You want it maybe in the past 2 or 3 years rather than 10 to 15 years that you update.
Actually, the cycle is about 5 years.
5 years? Okay.
Yeah. It's about roughly every 5 years you should be upgrading.
Yeah. And probably when you upgrade, you want to upgrade to maybe like last year's latest, because then the shit has been ironed out, I'm assuming.
That, well, you don't let go to the latest, but you very close to it. And the other thing is you want to make sure you look at the life cycle of the product support, right? Like software product support, all hardware product support, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be able to be in that time frame of support.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people did run legacy stuff, like, you know, we had a Windows XP stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, you don't want.
Wait, they're running XP?
Yes, I had a client that did that. Okay, I'm just.
What is the oldest that you've seen someone run as their daily driver?
Windows 95.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's why they hired me to do that shit. So I upgrade that stuff, upgrade the hardware, firmware, network, and all that stuff. So, and the programming too. So.
Yeah, I don't do too much in terms of software, other than, you know, installing the firmware that the company gives us to install on the system. But, you know, usually I'm just fixing up whatever I can with the hardware, because for some reason they still want to use these old ass machines. You know.
Well, but you know why they do that, right? Because a lot of the like the stuff that they're comfortable with, or the stuff that people haven't, like these companies haven't updated, are like on 32-bit system, right? And 32-bit system is very common in 95 to XP. XP is probably the last one that has purely 32-bit system, right?
Well, hold on. I understand the concept of wanting to use a system that you're comfortable with. But this is the way I'm looking at it is in terms of computing interaction. This is an entirely different thing than like an oven or a fucking cash register. I mean, like this is something that's constantly evolving. Like you said, 5 years. So it's, if they're going to utilize it, I think they should be responsible for keeping up the tabs with what they're using. It's part of their job force, right? I mean, it's part of you want to make sure that you're using the right equipment and you know what you're using. I think this is part of it. So that's why I find it funny when I'm getting. I mean, but again, it's a lot more. It's not so much restaurants. I'm pretty sure the restaurants are more up to date, but a lot of it is from retail. But it's retail. I mean, that's why are brick and mortar shops closing down? Because they're not fucking keeping up. You know, it's been working thus far, so why change it?
Well, it's It's reliability too, right? Because the
Mhm.
newer software, like, okay, it's been a big trend of software companies like Adobe, fucking, Photoshop, a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Uh, Going to the subscription model, right?
Mhm.
And it's causing a lot of issues because, like, let's say every year you have to pay for new software, right? People don't like to deal with that shit and all that stuff, but that's the way the industry is now. But let's say
But
you have older software and older hardware. Back then, you buy the software, you buy the hardware, you own it for life, right? So you don't have to upgrade because the thing works. It's doing the thing that you want to do. Yeah, your network infrastructure might be old and all that stuff, but you don't have to pay for new software. That's becoming harder and harder because of the compatibility between x64, right, and
And
x86, 32-bit versus 64
well,
64, right?
I'm just seeing it on both ends. They're dealing with antiquated hardware that's constantly bogging them down both in software and hardware, because the software obviously isn't getting updated enough to keep up, and the hardware is dying out because these. Well, I mean, in the very least, they could clean the shit out and make it last a little bit longer, but they can't. I mean, it's retail, so nobody's thinking about that. But I get it. Yeah, the subscription base that's horrible, and I don't thought that in the least bit. I mean, I think all that shit is it's just gonna backfire on them completely. But I mean, it's one of those things where it's eating at them, and I think now I'm not gonna say I know a perfect answer for it, but I think there is one out there for this.
and also, like I said, it's part of the thing is you don't want the latest and greatest because the latest and greatest is becoming ever more half baked.
Well, you
Well,
can't
And
even get a new game without having to wait 12 hours to download updates for it. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's very
that's
true.
that's what I was just about to say. I mean, shit, look at gaming. It used to be you would get a new game, and that new game was bug tested. They put it through its fucking paces. They really worked it over to see if it was actually all functional. And now they get the game like 3/4 of the way programmed, and they go, "Hey, new game." You get it? It's janky as fuck. People's bodies don't work right. The animation keeps on folding in upon itself because someone didn't do the model correctly. And just the physics is completely fucked. And you get oh, we're working on it. We'll fix that.
That's
When, oh, go ahead.
that's cyberpunk right there. I have
Yeah.
to say, you just describe cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's pretty much every major AAA title within the past few years. I mean, shit, this is going back even to Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas had some fantastic glitches when it first came out. Some of them so hilarious that there's actually mods that add them back in.
Uh, you remember the story of New Fallout New Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Basically, what you had um they were given what, less than a year to build that game.
They were given a very short period of time on a shoestring budget.
Yes, and it was, basically Bethesda uh saying to Obsidian, was it Obsidian? Yeah, Obsidian.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Obsidian, because the Obsidian made the other Fallout, Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Bethesda basically started. They bought an own for the Fallout franchise, and when they made Fallout 3, it was fine, but it wasn't the greatest. So they wanted to have somebody make another game in the same series. They contacted Obsidian saying, "Hey, can you make a Fallout game for us?" And then they gave them the fucking engine. That was the problem. Was the engine that was given to them?
Yep.
And it's a Game Boy or some yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and the engine has so many bugs that Obsidian was like they fucking crafted a great story and all that stuff, but there's so many bugs they couldn't fucking get out because, like you said, it gave them only a short time to develop and test the game.
Mhm. And that's why you had all kinds of weird glitches, like people's heads spinning around from their nose, effectively. Just if you would have stuck an axle through their nose and flicked their head, that's effectively how their head was spinning. It was just around that central location. Looked fucking weird. And all kinds of other just what the hell glitches were everywhere. And then they started patching it through. This is what happened with No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky got absolutely ripped apart, as it should have upon release.
Yep.
But they then patched it better, and now it's, by most accounts, a pretty damn good game for what it is.
You have to be very patient with that game, but yes, it is. Yeah. Well, the difference between No Man's Sky and Obsidian is like No Man's Sky was buggy when it came out and bad when it came out, but the studio themselves fixed it, right?
Yep.
The problem with Fallout 3, I mean Fallout New Vegas, and technically Fallout 3 also, is that the community fixed it, not fucking Bethesda. They've never okay. They have fixed every game Bethesda has fucking released in the last decade, basically. The community, not Bethesda themselves. Fallout 3, right? New Vegas. They have Fallout 4. Was it Rage?
Yep. The Elder Scroll games, of course.
The Elder Scroll games. And it's just like Obsidian has very bad record of fucking releasing games that's good. But the biggest reason why their game has been bad was so buggy, not bad, but buggy, right? Because they insist on using the same engine over and over and over again instead of building like an engine that actually meet the purpose of what they want, right? Like the Game Boy engine.
That's functionally industry standard now. Every developer has one or two engines that they use.
Right.
Or every major game company, rather, has one or two engines that they use. Like, I'm trying to remember which game series it is that is shackled to the Snowblind engine.
Snowblind.
And there was a game that everyone was really looking forward to that ended up... It was the Anthem, I think is the game that I'm thinking of. Anthem was the big space game that everyone was really excited for that it came out, and everyone went, oh. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, if I remember correctly, it was the Snowblind engine. And it's EA that makes Anthem. The reason why it got shit on so much was the Anthem team did not get the immediate response to help them fix the engine problems that they were having, because the A team for the engine fixes was assigned to FIFA.
Right.
So their game just got shit on by having an engine that was not the best fit, but it was the company engine, and they went, here, you're making the game. Fantastic. It will have all this cool shit, and you're going to do it with this engine. This engine is optimized for like Call of Duty and FIFA. Have fun.
May I correct you real quick though?
Go ahead.
The Anthem engine was the Frostbite. It was developed by DICE. The problem with the Anthem was, like you said, exactly what you said, is like it was not meant for that type of game. But that's the problem with a lot of Fallout, a lot of Bethesda game, right? It's like they have engines that are so fucking old that it's like you remember the old 2D, Fallout game, right? What it was, they just added more.
Fallout Arena.
Yeah, they just added like 3D model to it, and instead of building an engine that would work for the modern games, they just try to reuse the engine, add a little bit extra code to make it polygonal and all that stuff, like, right? And a lot of these companies do that. They don't want to pay for the Unreal Engine,
Yep.
Because Unreal Engine, whatever you want to say about them, Epic does build a good engine, right?
It's highly modular.
Right, but you have to pay for the license fee if you want to sell the games, and they get a cut of it. And a lot of these companies don't want to do that. They want to build their own or upgrade and retrofit their old 2D fucking engines to do that. And that's where Bethesda fucked up a lot of their gaming. And I remember there was a guy that he decompiled the code for the engine that was used for
Fallout. You done the 76 Fallout 76, and it was just Fallout 4.
Yes.
You can even find the code for the Prydwen in Fallout 76.
Yeah. He's like, this is shit. This is not how you would program,
Yep.
So, it's corporation.
This is a common problem with pretty much every major company that's dealing with that type of shit. Every game company has, like I said, one or two proprietary engines that they try to make every game in, whether or not they work.
So can we admit that there's a pattern that we can see? Because I mean, honestly, like it's like I mean, well, hold on, let's. God damn. God, I put my tinfoil hat on a whole fucking half hour ago.
Let's go, Alex Jones. Let's go.
No, the what you guys are describing goes back to around like Gears of War time, right? When that stuff started building up. And so that's when a lot of these companies that's when they started developing their own engines and basing the games off them. I think Madden was even off of an engine. So if you couldn't run the engine, you couldn't run Madden, type of thing. It got to the point where you were seeing the structural decay of this type of game development mentality. It doesn't work. But what was pushing it? Profits. The whole point that these game companies were doing this was because they wanted to make the most money off of these games as they could with the least amount of work. And if you could use an engine...
I disagree for one main reason. If they sold games that were completely functional, those games would become massive hits.
Well, no. I'm talking again. I'm talking back in around Gears of War times, coming up towards where we're at. The mentality was, just push it and get the money. That's where they got into. They started getting into the fucking I don't want to say DLC, but the like pay to play type stuff, or play to win, yeah. That stuff. And then eventually the gacha. Wasn't that what Jim Kazishin was really upset about with Konami?
Yeah, the gotcha
yeah,
game
the
models.
the gotcha stuff. Yeah, they were they were like, oh shit, us just reusing the same bullshit, actual game mechanics or engines and building new games off of it. And they were losing money off of it. They were making money, but they weren't making as much money as they wanted. So that's when they started doing this. Again, is this a lot of it is greed too, because they did make a lot of money off of these games.
Yep, though I would say that it's a problem that I've mentioned in other industries where it's the plague of middle managers. Because when you have
Yes.
low-level managers, they deal with the actual workers. And when you're dealing with the actual workers, you kind of end up giving a shit what they're dealing with. So if you start realizing, oh yeah, we're overworking these people a hell of a lot, we need to hire more staff. You are prone to suggest hiring more staff because it will increase the productivity and decrease the stress maintaining the workers that you have, because you know that your workers are skilled, right? When you're looking at the highest level of management, these are the people that are completely bought in to the company, and they rely on this company surviving, not just because it gives them their paycheck, but because they have more money staked in the company than just getting a paycheck. These are the E-suite people. They tend to give a shit whether the company lives or fails. Go right in the middle of those two levels of management, and you have someone that is too far removed from the mooks doing the work to give a shit about the mooks, and too far removed from actual buy-in to the company to really honestly give a shit whether the company lives or dies. And due to that, you have these people that are making decisions to make more money for themselves because their claim the increase in productivity is due to their management, when the increase in productivity is, yeah, we, instead of having all of our workers work 40 hours a week, we made all of our workers work 48 hours a week. So the amount of work that we get done with the same number of workers just went up by 20%. And they'll claim that 20% increase in worker efficiency is them. It isn't really efficiency. It isn't really them. It's them being retarded, because ultimately there's a point where that costs the company more money than if they just hired someone new and didn't have everyone working ridiculous OT. But the middle manager doesn't give a shit. The low-level manager, they would care. The high-level manager, they would care. But they aren't getting all the information that this middle manager is getting, and the middle manager is making just shitty decisions. Because that allows them to go, see, I saved this amount of money, when they didn't actually save any real money. And in many cases, they cost the company money. And I think that's the problem when it comes to a lot of different sectors of business.
Must be grabbing his salmon.
Grabbing the rice pot, actually.
Oh, okay.
So close, but not quite. But yeah, I think that's the problem with a lot of different sectors of the economy, where you just have these middle manager fucks that they're too separated from everything that should be brought in when making a decision. Because when it comes to making a decision, you should be looking at, are you maintaining your skilled staff? That's one thing that you should really be concerned about, because skilled staff are the ones that do the bulk of your work. And then the other one is, are you in the black or are you in the red? And that's the high-level managers. They really care about the black and the red. But you have these people that are in between, they don't give a shit. At least that's my take on it. You guys have heard me rant and rail against the feckless middle management class hundreds of times by now, most like. But yeah. Anything else that you guys want to add to that topic, or a different topic that you want to jump into? I feel like I accidentally killed the conversation by going into that rant. I just really don't like middle managers, okay?
No, I understand the disconnect. I just, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, if you can't look at that and prescribe a solution, you know, what?
No, I can very easily. You start looking at how much money the management is actually saving you versus how much it's actually costing you. And you go right down to the basic numbers. You don't just deal with the numbers that each manager gives you, because every manager will give you the numbers that make them look as good as they possibly can.
Yeah, they would cheat that system, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm. Because I guarantee that if you go to any diversity and inclusion office, for instance, and you tell them to give you the numbers on how they've improved your company, they will make up complete horseshit in order to justify their continued existence. When, yeah, those sections in particular, you could get rid of those, just save money.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't do a goddamn thing to your company's profitability.
And the shit's still being processed, you know. At the end of the day, work's being done.
Yeah, and if you can get rid of someone at a company and there is no response when it comes to productivity, if you can get rid of a manager and there's no either immediate or gradual decline in productivity of your facility, that manager wasn't doing shit. If you can get rid of a worker and there's no decline in how much your facility's outputting, that worker wasn't doing shit. But no one's really doing assessments to figure out who is doing work, who isn't doing work. And then when someone finally does, they get a shit ton of people going after them in the media, which I still find that hilarious. You guys remember before Christmas, the one CEO that sacked 980 people in a Zoom call?
Yep. That was a Russian dude too.
Yeah, and do you remember why he did it and who he sacked?
Was there? Oh shit! Was it the folks that wanted to work from home, right?
No, it was not. It was the Diversity and Inclusion Office, and a good chunk of HR were all sacked via Zoom call. Because what he did was he did exactly what I said should be done. He went, okay, I want all the numbers, all the stats, all the figures. I want how much time they put on their time cards, and I want how much work they've actually gotten done. I want how much they've saved us, how much they've cost us. I want all those numbers. And he found out that the 980 people that were in effectively the diversity and inclusion and different sections of HR would routinely put that they put in 8 hours of work a day. Their actual amount of work that they put in, 2 hours.
Yeah.
They said that they made the company X amount of money, the actual figure was negative. They said that they had implemented this, that, and the other. The actual information was no, they hadn't. So he went, "You're stealing from the company. Why the fuck are we paying you? Get the fuck out. You don't have a job." Which, yeah, if someone is saying that they're constantly doing 8 hours of work a day, and then you look into everything that they do and it is 2 hours, then that is someone that you should get rid of as an employer, because they're just a net drain on the company.
Yeah, probably not contributing too much to the cause there.
Yeah, they aren't contributing to the job. They aren't doing their job, because for 6 hours a day out of their 8-hour work cycle,
It's just, how would they get away with that? Like, that's so.
how they got away with it was they were reporting their own hours. These were all that kind of upper middle management level.
Oh, so it was one of those where, like, you don't really have to be seen too much.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's making a little bit more sense there.
Yeah, they were all that upper middle management level where they aren't out on the factory floor or in the lab or doing something obvious. They don't have calls that they have to get to. So it isn't like, it's very easy to tell if a cable repairman isn't doing the amount of work that he should be doing, because if it's, yeah, you should be getting 4 calls done in this period of time, and the person got 1 call done and they didn't call and go, okay, there's all kinds of fucked up shit happening at this call. Here's everything that's going on. Here's why it's taking me so long. It's fairly obvious what's happening. These were people that don't have any of those metrics normally. So they just report on their time card how much time they put in, and they're safe in the knowledge that they won't be caught. And this time they got caught, and they flipped their shit about it.
That's just crazy, yo.
Mm-hmm. Especially since, how the hell? The company was a decent-sized company, but it wasn't like a multinational size company. And it had 980 diversity and inclusion and HR people. And in the article that was, or in the full justification, the dude even said what % of their workforce it was. And it was substantially north of 10%.
That's way too many.
Yeah.
That's like 1% is too many. That's asinine too many.
Mm-hmm. If you have an office of like 150 people, you could probably get that done with 1 EEO.
Yep.
And really, you could get it done with 0 EEOs and be just fine as well, but...
Yeah, no, politics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, shit. Speaking of politics, what do you guys think of the trucker convoy?
I fucking
Utunar,
love it.
good old Kanadistan. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I fucking love the truckers.
Kandunkistan did something right for it once.
you know, I heard a story about it was a trucker dude was parked, and there was a bunch of people walking out from, I think they said Quebec. Is Quebec like a separate?
It's a separate province,
right?
Yeah, it's a province. So think their provinces are kind of like our states.
Yep.
But he said that they walked out and they had the Quebec flag and then the Canadian flag, and then they went out there and they were trying to talk to each other, but they didn't. I guess.
Do you know why that's such a weird thing?
Well, he was saying it was like, because what was it was they wouldn't expect it. They didn't expect that. Like they didn't think that the Quebecians would put any foot in it. But when they saw that, he was like, "Yeah, this is showing that there's solidarity between all these peoples,
Mm-hmm.
and this is real. We're going. Let's go."
Yeah, it would be kind of like, so think of an extremely insular community within the United States that normally doesn't give a shit. So probably the one that pops to mind is like the Amish.
Yeah,
The Amish
the Amish
don't really give a shit about what happens outside of Amish communities. The Amish also have their own language. So
yeah.
Hey, wait. So, is there Mormon colonies out in Utah that have this type of thing too?
I don't think there's any that have their own language, but there are fairly insular Mormon communities that kind of section themselves off. And there are other examples of it. Like I said, the Amish and Amish and Mennonites are probably the two most obvious.
Yeah.
And the Quebecois tend to be really insular.
Yes.
They have their own language because they have their own version of French.
Yes.
And it is mandated that that is the language of Quebec. If you open a business, you have to have the Quebecois way of saying everything on every sign that you make. And if there's any English, the Quebecois has to be larger than the English.
Ah,
the
that's
very
like our flag laws.
no, the very okay. Adam. You don't understand how badly the Quebecois are fucking hated in the rest of Canada, because you know why?
Because they love Jay Sherman.
Because they're descended from French.
Well, that, and it's basically when you go to Quebec, right? They expect you to know French. When you leave, when the Quebecois leave, Quebec and goes to Toronto, for instance,
They
right?
expect you to know French.
They expect you to know French. You speak English, they fucking frown on you. When you go to, if you speak English, if you're a English person, right? They call everybody that speak English person, right?
Mm-hmm. Just
When
like
you go,
the Amish, which is part of the reason I chose them as an example, because everyone that's non-Amish are the English.
right, and it's exactly how it's done in Quebec. Is like, if you go to, let's say, a restaurant in Montreal or Quebec, the city Quebec, right? You speak English to them, they will, and if they know you don't understand French, they will fucking treat you like shit.
Yep.
That's why you don't want to go vacation in Quebec if you don't know any French.
Dude.
Yep. But they're very French in that way, because they are very fucking uptight. Like, you can shove a fucking condom up their ass and like blow a goddamn balloon in there, and they still
They're
Damn.
effectively redneck Parisians.
Hold
Yes.
on. So are they really into onions, just like the French?
They are. I don't know about the cuisine. The cuisine, actually, from my understanding of, at least in Montreal, right? They have an eclectic. Fuck, I can't say that word.
Eclectic.
Eclectic. There you go. Sensibility when it comes to their food. They do have frog gras and all that stuff, the fucking typical French bullshit, right?
Wait, Fambois, is that the where they shove the food up the goose duck or the goose
Foie
stomach?
gras, it's
Foie gras,
where
yeah.
they fatten up the goose liver. Yep.
Yeah, and then they yeah, basically, and then they they feed it to you.
That's,
It's very inhumane form of food, but that's the thing.
Well, it can be. There are humane versions of foie gras.
Yeah.
There's the forced feeding method, which that one's the fucked up one. But there are now effectively free-ranged versions
Yeah.
that are fairly good, from what I hear.
Only because I was listening to older jokes today. So you remember Sully the pilot?
Mhm.
Yeah, he preferred rapid foie gras. Oh. A goose went into the jet
Mhm.
end. Wow, time jump. Hey, you gotta go back in time.
This is a
God,
goose. This is a goose gander, man. This is a
I
goose
know.
gander.
I couldn't help myself, but this fucking just popped up and it just vomited out. Sometimes I hear
Goddamn. I just had to bite down on my own words because I was about to go into a massive Spurg spiral there just because Cryptic said gander and we were talking about Canada.
Whoa.
I'd do that to people, so my bad.
And for anyone who doesn't know, I'll do a short version of it. When 9/11 happened, there was a bunch of planes that were bound for the US that ended up having to land in Canada at this one remote as shit airport that was originally just an international interchange, but as planes were able to fly farther and farther, it became less often used. This airport was right outside the town of Gander, which just opened up its fucking homes, schools, and everything for all the people that were stranded and really just took quality care of everyone. Fed them, dressed them, took them out drinking, all kinds of good shit. And there's a story and musical about this called Away from Home. No, The Far and Aways. It's The Far and Aways. That is all about that story. Really good story. Really cool. And I actually met the mayor / principal / fireman? Fire chief that was represented in that story. That's the short version of that Spurg out. But
Wait, what?
Cryptic mentioned Gander. We're talking about Canada. Cryptic's making food, I think.
Nah, no, it is good on Gander to have taken care of our peoples.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just one of those really good kind of feel-good stories that it's all true. The whole thing of them just going, oh, there's a bunch of people trapped. Okay. Here, we'll make sure that they have a good time of it, even though this is a shit situation. It's a really cool story. I recommend people look into it. But yeah, going back to the truckers, it is fucking awesome.
Yes.
Has Trudeau been found yet, by the way?
Nope, he's still in his little bunker.
Okay.
No, I thought they found him.
No, he's still in his shit little bunker.
Because last I heard, they weren't sure where he was. He had gone into hiding.
Yep.
And the question was he in hiding in Canada, or did he flee Canada to the States to hide?
Well, that's what I mean. There was people saying that they saw him in D.C., and then there was other people who made claims that he was found in some like estate or vineyard or something like that out in eastern Canada. I don't know. I'm not
Well,
familiar with the territories and stuff.
he has a home in Canada,
Yeah.
which, from what I heard, they do not think that he's at his home in Canada. And then there was the rumors that he might have fled to the United States, which made a bunch of people laugh about, what if we, in a couple weeks' time, get pictures of Trudeau eating at a restaurant without a mask in Florida, just like we did AOC?
Oh yeah. Well, I like the memes that are going out where it's like, oh shit, can we be sure if this is Trudeau? And it shows like a black dude or an Indian dude, and then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, because it's like he did the blackface, and it's like, oh shit, is that him, or is it?
Trudeau could be hiding in plain sight.
He is the master of disguise. He is more better. Is that more? That's the more better than Dana Carvey. Yeah, sad to say.
Have you seen Trudeau's Turtle Man yet, though?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I thought it was Dana Carvey for a minute. Oh shit! That is. It is good to see. I saw one from. Oh, it was a Danish truck convoy, and they had one truck go, and then the second truck go, and then right behind it, it was a dude in a motorcycle, and then another truck. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, only the fucking.
So I do have to ask, do you mean it was a convoy full of Danes, or do you mean that it was a convoy of trucks that carried Danishes?
Possibly both. I
A
don't know.
bunch of Danes trucking Danishes?
Look, dude, if they're protesting, they're going up to 11. You know
That
what?
would be like
Speaking
a
of
bunch
which,
of Frenchmen just carrying around frogs in their semis.
well, no, hold on. When I was working on the systems earlier today, I got to check the network to make sure it's working, and it just opens up default, basic news stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them was, I guess, a bunch of Polish immigrants drove some trucks up to the convoys in Canada with Polish sausages
Nice.
and breads. I can't remember what the breads were, but
Very nice.
yeah. And they made the statement, like we understand what getting out of communism is. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, dude, you know what? I'm not gonna lie, dude. I watched this one video of a trucker who was like, they were handing out bags of food, and one of them had a fucking letter of a kid, like, hey, I'm proud of you. And, this could all be, nonsense, but it's like, it's, I don't know, man. There's a lot of these motherfuckers out there support. I mean, you just see it. If you look up the video, just look for the video. Don't look at the mainstream media shit. Like, you gotta find it.
Yep.
And when you see it, it's like, dude, that's.
You guys heard what GoFundMe did to them, right?
Oh yeah, they stole their fucking money.
Exactly. $9 million.
Them fucktards, dude.
$9 fucking million. It wasn't like a few $1,000s. $9 million.
Though also, there wasn't all the funding that they were getting, which is nice because the truckers have released how long they could continue their protest with the money that has been given to them. Either of you care to guess how long they say that they can continue?
Didn't they get a couple million?
They did. How long
Million?
do you think that they can continue the protest with just the funding that they already have?
6 months.
The next 3 to 4 years.
Oh,
Yep.
Nice.
Dude, and these are Canadians. These are fucking Canadians. Can we like I can understand if this was like New York or Chicago or something like that, where you would think like, oh man, these like no, these are Canadians, and it's sad that I'm sitting there saying Chicago, New York, knowing full well that that wouldn't happen there. You'd more than less likely see it in some city in Texas or fucking.
Though there was surprising news when it came out about it, and truck convoys. There's a group of Californian truckers that
Oh
are
yeah,
trying
aren't they going
to
to Washington?
organize a massive convoy throughout the country, all converging on DC.
Good. You know what? And I would say the only bad thing is, where I'm at, it's
Mhm.
so far north. It's like, damn it, you fucking truckers! Either go participate in the Canadian protest or go participate in the fucking American one. But get the fuck out of our lane because I gotta go to work. The fuck in my lane. I'm sitting there like, why are there still so many trucks?
See, I'm just hoping that if they do succeed in putting together that massive convoy and going to DC, I'm really hoping that after finishing in DC, they decide, all right, lads, so up for a tour of the states and just go to every major city that's doing shit like that and just
Yeah, and tell them to knock it off,
eh,
dude. Enough's enough.
go to New York City because New York City has been doing some massive fucketry. Go to Chicago because Illinois. Go to Michigan and just hit all of them as the truckers return home.
You know, the funny thing is though, down here, in terms of countries, I have the feeling that the truckers might get the aid of the bikers.
Yeah.
All the people from Sturgis and shit. They're
Yep.
just gonna be like, you know what? We're gonna join them.
Yeah. I mean, the truckers in
It's
Canada
gonna look
got
Mad Max, dude. Get out of here.
the truckers in Canada got the aid of the farmers.
Yeah, no, yeah,
The trucker
they did. They
convoy
got,
has been joined by a shit ton of farmers.
just imagine fucking till plows, fucking bikes, and truckers.
Yep.
Oh
And
wow, that's
this
gonna
is
look
something
awesome.
that should also be getting your history boner going, Adam,
Uh
because it
oh. Let
has
me dust it off.
a bit of an echo from a previous event from the Roman Empire. Do you happen to know what it is?
Well, hold on.
Something very similar to the trucker protest happened in the Roman Empire.
Now, is this Roman Empire or Roman Republic?
Well, technically, I think it was Roman Republic.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Because it was, I'll give you a hint by saying the time, it was like the 400 or 500s BC.
Damn. No. You know what? I'm not too strong on Republic Roman history. You know, pretty much. I know just like the key frames, like Marius reforms and whatnot. You know, the end of the hill battles. But revolts and uprisings during that time period, I'm not too familiar with.
I'm trying to remember the exact name of it because it has a specific name, but I always want to end up saying it or say a different form of it because it wasn't the plebeian revolt or the plebeian protest or anything like that. It was like the resignation of the plebes.
Well, because there was two plebeian revolts, if I recall. There was one in Sicily and one on the mainland of Italy. The one in Sicily being earlier, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so it is the Great Resignation of the Plebes, or of the Plebs, if you prefer that
The first one?
pronunciation.
In southern
The one that
southern
happened
Sicily,
right in Rome, effectively.
Oh, okay.
The Great Resignation of the Plebs. What
So
happened
they just walked out.
the Roman aristocrats, effectively, the Roman officials and government, the leaders, started implementing more and more control over the plebs, and the plebs effectively went, fuck you. So what they did was the plebs of the city of Rome and the surrounding area of Rome, it's also called the secession of the plebs, all walked out of Rome, and they sat on a hill just outside Rome. All the
Was it
traitors,
the Rome, the hill, the fucking the Hill of
The hill.
Mars,
yeah, I think it was. I'm not
the
sure if it was the
gathering
hill.
place for the army.
I'm not sure if it was the Hill of Mars, but they just walked out of the city and the surrounding area and squatted on one of the hills. It might very well have been the Hill of Mars. And said, okay, you're Rome, then you can do the work of Rome. We're Rome, though. We know you can't do the work of Rome. Talk with us. And the government officials, the leaders of Rome, tried desperately to avoid meeting with them, to break their will, but the thing was, it was all the traders, all the farmers, all the craftsmen, all the workers within the city just walked out of the city and went, no, fuck you. And they came to them and, no, you're going to work. No, fuck you. Eventually, they had to actually come to an understanding, which is very much like the trucker movement for peace, or movement for freedom, sorry, because it is much the same. It's all the people that actually do the work in order to keep the cities running are currently going to the cities going, you've been fucking with us. Stop fucking with us.
Blood clots are dangerous.
Yeah. You think that you can survive without food being brought from outside of the city? Fucking do it. You think that you can survive without trucking? By all means, have at it.
It's getting to that point, man.
Yep.
I wish it'd come sooner, but but I hate to say it, it ain't over yet.
And I just looked up what hill they retreated to. They went to MotZ.
MotZ.
So the sacred mountain. If I'm not mistaken in my Latin.
Well, I hope everybody who was listening
took notes on the secession of the plebs.
Yep.
But yes, it was the first plebeian secession, or a secession of the plebs, because apparently they repeated it several times in fairly short order. They ended up having a total of 5 secession of the plebs, and they were in 494 BC, 449 BC, 445 BC, and then they gave it a few, or about 100 years, and did it again in 342, and then they gave it about 60 years and did it a final time in 287. But yeah, each time it was just, fuck you, you aren't Rome, we're Rome. You really think that you can deal with this shit? Fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, once you control the flow of income, once you control the spice, yeah, I mean, you pretty much, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
You know. What didn't somebody recently resign in Canada, or say that something? I could have sworn that there was some recent thing about that they're.
Yeah, the leader of the Conservative Party,
O'Toole.
O'Toole, he was being a douche. He didn't want to support the truckers, and he got fucking booted from the leadership.
Nice.
Okay.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
O'Toole seemed fairly decent when he first started out, and then he just started becoming less and less so.
yeah, he was like, oh, it's too far right. Like, no, they're just standing for their rights. Period. You know, he
Yeah.
didn't support it. So his fucking his party basically booted him. It's like you're not welcome anymore. You're not representing us.
You saw the articles about people accusing them of defacing statues, right?
Yep, and it's all fucking false.
And
Yeah.
you know what's funny is you also don't see them showing the videos of people cleaning up the trash, and I think it was they polished the statue that they put the flag on.
Yep, so they were accused of defacing a statue because they tied a flag as if it were a cloak around a statue and put a hat on its head. That was defacing a statue, according to the media. Meanwhile, that same media, when the BLM riots were happening, because Canada did unfortunately suffer some of those as well, had a statue that was completely spray painted and then knocked off its plinth.
Yep.
Which they refuse to describe as defacing of a statue.
Yep, it was the statue of the first Governor General of Canada.
Yep.
Oh, I remember that one.
And to respond to what Cannibalistic Wizard said, yes, I did hear about that absolutely insane woman claiming that Rome did not exist. Adam, did you happen to hear about that?
I do not believe so.
Yeah, a woman who claims to be, if I remember correctly, she was saying that she was a history teacher, was she not, Cannibalistic? Who claims to be a history teacher, said that she always finds it strange when people start talking about Rome and the things that Rome did, because Rome wasn't real. Rome was just a manufactured bit of history, mainly by the papacy, as being a more glorious past than it actually had.
Oh wait, is that where the Rome isn't real thing came from?
Yes, it comes from this one insane person who claims to be a history teacher, talking about how Rome was just a massive PR lie, effectively. Which just, what the fuck? Yeah, it was the Spanish Inquisition was what they claimed it was from, which all ties back to the Papal States. And then in her clarification, it became even more.
Well, hold on. I only want to say, because I'm only just starting to learn or to look up where the papacy lineage type of stuff is kind of flows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've seen a Spanish one, but
So the Spanish Inquisition was
no. I know what the Spanish Inquisition was, but
yeah.
I'm just to tether it to the papacy.
It's just because the papacy was what ordered the Inquisitions. So the Spanish Inquisition being a inquisitorial force under the guidance of the papacy.
Whoa, hey, dude, come on. Quiz is a really good guy. Okay, let's not besmirch his name.
Yeah, he's not Spanish.
No, not at all. I think he's Scottish or something.
But yeah, the Spanish Inquisition was ordered by the papacy to root out the heretics and non-believers.
You know what's sad is I can't even tweet him because he fucking turned it off. No, I'm gonna message him with a good old quiz. But yeah, no, yeah.
I'm disappointed in him from when he got his trials wrong.
Trials.
Yeah, so part of the Inquisition, as outlined in the Malear Maleficarum, the witch's hammer, had the practice of different trials. And this was during the flood at one point. And he stated the wrong trial. Because he was talking about how, yes, this was a proper trial of water, but he got what the trial of water was wrong in his tweet about the trial of water. This was back when I was still hiding the fact that Bullish Barrow was actually myself.
Damn,
So
dude.
I chastised him as someone who he didn't know, going, come on, man, you're an Inquisitor and you can't even get your trials right?
Oh shit.
So yeah, I just give him shit for it every so often, but I remember that.
No,
Just like I give him shit for the fact that we still haven't had the Proto-Minions recording completely edited and posted on the channel. So no one knows what I mean when I say that apparently being a queer heterosexual means that you are more banged out than the most abused Thai rent boy in existence. You are more crusted than Muhammad's robe ever was, apparently. Yeah, no one knows what I mean when I say that, because Inquisitor still hasn't finished editing and uploaded the Proto-Minions thing. What has it been, like 4 years, Inquisitor? Come on, man.
damn, dude. You realize that you're making these statements and, you know, they're going to be preserved in some sort of way.
Oh yeah, I've done it hundreds of times, so
Okay. All right.
I have absolutely no problem. The
Dude, well,
entire
hold
joke
on.
of it is now every time that I say it, I have to come up with a different turn of phrase to explain just how unbelievably fucked degenerate it was to read that goddamn article, and no one knows what I'm talking about. That is the entire joke now. It is amazing. I love it. Because, yeah, that was before we even started doing streams. That was Proto-Minion lore.
Proto-Minion.
Of the old days, before the streams, before we had started bullshitting in any way other than the first game stream. And this might actually predate the first game stream. We were just sitting in a VC reading weird fucking articles to each other and riffing off of it. I was not able to be in the VC and speak because I was at work at the time, but I was saying extremely colorful things in the chat.
What a colorful. You drawn with crayons?
Because I was listening to this, and that's when it started, just me coming up with more and more ridiculous statements to explain what the fuck I was hearing. It started with, like, this dude has had more people in him than fucking Grand Central Station.
Jeez.
And just kept on going from there. More cum-crusted than the average 14-year-old's wank sock was another one.
You know, the back and forth, the good old ripping on each other. I really like that, you know?
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's a good, I mean, not to say like with random new people, you know.
Yeah, you need to get familiar with people before you can start just ripping the shit out of them.
Well, hold on. I gotta say, I feel like that's like a word magic type thing. I gotta dispel. Like I gotta say, like, oh, not everybody, oh, you know. But it's ripping on each other is one of those things where it's like it builds you up.
Yeah.
It crafts your mindset towards new witty content as well as beefing up your defenses when somebody rips on you. And that's an important thing, you know. Like you got to be able to take the hits. If you can't take the hits, you're no good.
And if you can't rip into your friends, who the fuck can you rip into? I mean, half the point of being friends with people is just so that you can crack the shits and just, hey, fucking you, yeah, you, and just go at them for no goddamn reason.
This is the thing. I was doing this with my family. Like dinner time. Okay, my dad would come home at 6 o'clock, right? And then we'd hang out for a bit, and all of a sudden we eat dinner. And dinner was literally like we just like rip off each other, we goof off each other, and it wasn't like we were like trying to insult anybody, but it was just hey, that's funny. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm sorry, it's kind of weird.
If you don't do at least a few jabs and touches when hanging out, are you even really friends?
No. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, wait. Huh? I mean, hold on.
You kind of have to rip into your friends. Keep them humble a little bit. You don't want them getting too big of a head.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
But it's good shit when you can find that sort of friendship, and that's what the Minions have been for goddamn ages. I still remember just absolutely ragging on the Lesser Jet to the point where his official name in the Minions became the Lesser Jet to damn near everyone. For those who don't know, Jacob Jet has a younger brother, so of course we took to calling the younger brother the Lesser Jet.
It's like the Gohan.
Yeah.
Hey, so what time period would Cryptic be on?
Cryptic he's not new. He's kind of in that middle ground where most of the Minions that are around are. There's a handful of the first crop Minions, and then there's the Minions that have been around for a while, and Cryptic's definitely in the Minions that have been around for a while. I think effectively there's not many of the original Minions that are still really involved in streaming at the moment, because it's Inquisitor, myself, Pop-Tart, Hammer, and Reject are the main ones that still appear on stream from time to time.
Yeah, it's a lot of baby faces.
Yeah, all of you guys are newbies. I mean, you were, I think, the crop right after the first crop, right, Adam?
Oh yeah, dude. I was probably like second tier.
I think
You
you
know?
came in right about the time that we started streaming, right? Or were you first crop with me and you were pre-streams?
Yeah, possibly because I didn't participate in any of the whatever you guys were doing. I just it was I was chatting with Lords of the Night, and
Yep.
then Hammer's like, "Hey, you wanna chat with us?" And I'm like, "Okay." And
Yeah. That's how this entire group started. It was just different people would go, "Hey,
God, these fuckers were abducting
join us."
UFOs, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Reject and Hammer are aliens. That's it.
Nice. But yeah, it's old school minions. That there were, I want to say there were like 15 of us to start.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
group.
It was a decent size, but still fairly small, and we've just been growing and growing since.
Ugh, why are we talking about fucking memories and shit?
Don't know, it just came up. Mainly because I started ragging on Inquisitor and bringing up the Proto-Minion lore video that he still needs to finish editing and upload. God fucking damn it.
Ugh. Inquisitor. Yeah, he still owes me $5.
But yes, it is getting to the point where I said that we would probably be winding down, and it sounds like the conversation is somewhat wound down. Does anyone have anything that they really want to get out and chat about for a little bit before we close down, or shall we go around the horn for parting words? Adam?
Well, I don't have anything, to I guess to spark up or
Nothing you're dying to get off your chest at the moment?
Oh, well, there's plenty to talk about, but I don't know if I want to do it live.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so as for the show, hey, you know what? An early Friday night Minions of the Zoo show. Wonderful. It was great.
And an absolute rarity.
Yeah, and a rarity. I wonder if it's the earliest show that we've done on a Friday. I'd like the stats. And also
Probably on a Friday, yeah. It's not the earliest show that I've ever done, because the very first day stream of the Minions was a stream that I did, and I think I started that one at like 5 Eastern.
Damn.
Yeah, it was 5 or 6 Eastern. And you jumped in on that partway through, because that was the one where it was Hammer, Gutenberg, you and I.
Fucking Gutenberg.
Yeah. That was the sober Gutenberg stream.
Wait, sober? Oh.
Yeah, that was the sober Gutenberg stream, because he was able to stream just after he got out of work.
Hold on. Dude,
So
all right.
he was in the process of drinking, but he hadn't...
You're making me feel like I'm gonna suck on a Werther's candy right about now. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be old. Oh, no.
I've been around the Minions long enough. I know the deep lore.
Oh, Lord.
I was there when the deep lore was made.
All right. But okay. Oh man. Okay. um, you know what? Dude. It was fun. It was fun chatting with you. Cryptic.
Always a good time.
I hope you can hear me. I'm gonna cup my hands around my mouth. I hope you're having a good night there. Cryptic. God bless you, sir. But you know, I always like chatting on this channel. Um, it's a good release, you know,
Mhm.
be able to talk to people. But either way, to both you, panel and the audience, I love you. God bless you, and y'all take care.
Have a good one, man. Cryptic, you're around. You've been muted for a while. Did you end up popping away? Are you currently taking a shit? And I'm just now calling attention to this so that when you hear this, if you have a set of headphones that are wireless, you might still be hearing this at the moment and just thinking, oh God, now everyone knows. And getting stressed out because now the chat knows that, yes, you are in fact dropping the kids off at the pool.
And it shall be recorded for the ends of time.
Yeah. I'll give him a moment longer to see if he hops in. If not, then I'll
He's
give
gonna
my
drop it.
parting words, and he shall have none for his poorly timed shit.
Oh, I hope he didn't have Taco Bell. I've only heard recent horror stories. Oof.
At least it's not as bad as the reviews for the 5-pound sack of sugar-free Haribo gummy bears. Oh man, those are still amazing. And when I really need a laugh, I'll just pull them up and read through a couple of those. Oh. But it sounds like Cryptic is still away from his computer at the moment.
Yeah, I think we've given him enough of a chance.
Yep.
Hey, hold on. I'm Cryptic, and it was an awesome. Minions are cool. Awesome. There you go.
I just learned that Adam's Cryptic voice is every black comedian's white man voice.
Wasn't
That was straight up just black comedian white man's voice.
I was trying for like the most like neutral voice. I don't even know how to. God damn it! All right.
It sounded like you were about to start talking about pocket protectors. But yes, I'll leave off now. That way we still have plenty of time to relax a little bit before the tribute to IP, which I've sent the link out for in chat. So anyone interested in viewing along, do click the link and have a good one. With that, I'll leave off with my standard. If you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you. And have a good night, all. The zoo is closed. This is when you say goodbye, Adam, since I can't tell Cryptic to say goodbye because he's still taking a shit. I don't know why I've decided to pick on Cryptic for this.
No. And you know what? I honestly wanted to. I was thinking you were going to say that, and
or something like that.
No, I was thinking you were going to say that, and I wanted to go like out, but
nice.
I couldn't help it. Someone as soon as you said it, started. Okay.
But yes, this is when you say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a good night.